So now that we've done our warm-up, wasn't that really fun? I felt like it was old times, you guys, and we were all back together drawing and creating in one space here at Wilmington Art Studio. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our inspiration for this week. And we're already on week number 13. Isn't that crazy? So we were in Colorado for the Pueblo pottery. That was our inspiration in the United States. So now though, we're going to be heading north, so way north. And so you know where that gets us? Well, first Canada, but then we're going to head even more north. So we're heading to Alaska, which is part of the United States. So we're going to get inspired by the Inuit people and their culture and all their patterns and artwork, which is just so beautiful. So the artwork that is made by the Inuits is beadwork. They have weaving that they do during the summertime, and then during the winter, which is most of the year, they do beautiful carvings out of, can you guess what the material is? So if it is really cold and there's no trees, what would they use to carve out of? So if you're thinking rocks, stones, or animal bones, you guessed on the right track. So as you're seeing on your screen, these are carvings that the Inuit created, and these are carvings that were created way back hundreds of years ago, and also current carvings that are done by the Inuit people today. So the Inuits live in the Alaskan area, and as we mentioned, it is cold there. So think of the temperature if there's no trees like we mentioned. So they're building their homes out of snow, packed snow bricks. So instead of mud and dirt bricks like we have here, they were doing it out of snow. So you may know that is called an igloo. And an igloo actually means in the native language of the Inuit, home. So it makes sense that you would call your snow brick house a home, an igloo. Now in the summertime, it is warmer. It's not hot, but it is warmer. And so instead of having a snow house, which would melt, what they do is they build tents. And those tents are built out of animal skins. And so today, currently, some Inuits use store-bought tents. There are Inuit people who follow the traditions of their ancestors and still build animal skin tents today. So that's pretty cool. Now also keep in mind, if everything is covered in snow and there's no roads, they're in a rural area, think of how would you get from point A to point B? So there's no cars. So what you have to do is you have a dog sled. So the Inuit people still use a dog sled or a sleigh for transportation. And the Inuit people are actually the people who created the husky dog. So they bred a wolf with a dog to create a really hardy and an animal that can tolerate super cold weather and loves to run. The sleigh goes super fast, and where they can haul all of their goods into their sleigh and transport from one point to another. So now for our main project, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be inspired by the husky. Now we talked about how the husky is such an important part to the Inuit people. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw a husky. Now this is gonna be our inspiration photo right here. And what we're going to do is we are going to be drawing the entire husky portrait. Remember, portrait is when you're doing a face of something, and also the orientation of your paper. So we're going to be doing a portrait of this husky. Now we are also going to be adding some color to it. Now you might be thinking, now Miss Willow, there is no color on this except for the eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some inspiration, and we're going to be looking at the beautiful beadwork that the Inuit women create. And you can see on your screen there's all these beautiful colors and such intricate patterns. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be inspired by these colors, and we're actually going to make this husky, part of it is going to be colored, so half of its face is going to be super bright, vibrant colors, and then the other half is going to be black and white, and then the eye color could stay blue if you wanted to. So this is going to be our main project for week number 13. So we're going to head back inside and we're going to sketch this portrait.
So what you guys are going to do is you are going to print out this husky picture and you are going to put it underneath your piece of paper to trace it, and you're going to have to hold it in front of a window so you can trace it out nice and clearly, and you want to make sure you have a very light pressure when you're sketching it out so you can barely see your outline. This will give us a nice layout so we can start shading in with our pencil, and then we're going to end up layering with a lot of different materials. We're going to be doing some chalk, and then we're going to even go into it with some markers. So right now with your pencil, you're just going to go ahead, look at that reference photo, and the areas that are black, we're going to shade those in with some nice mark making with our graphite. And don't worry about getting it to be a black value. We're going to be going in with those other materials that I mentioned on top. So just go in and roughly block out the areas that are dark. So I'm going around the face, I did the forehead, and I'm just going to do a few cross contouring marks for the body that's tucked behind our husky. Notice there's some darkness around the ears, and there's a bit of darkness on either side in between the eyes. And I'm just gonna sketch out a little bit of the nose where I see some of those really dark values, but make sure we don't want to fill the entire nose in black because then we can't see the nostrils and the shape of the form. So just do a little bit of darkness on the edges and a little bit where you're defining the nostrils in the center. And then where the mouth is, we're just gonna put a little bit of some gray, and then the lips kind of curve up. And don't forget to outline the eyes too. So now what you guys are going to do is you're going to grab some black chalk. If you have some, great. If you don't, do not worry. You can just keep going in with your pencil and increase the darkness. If you do have some black or gray chalk, and this is just sidewalk chalk, you're going to go ahead and you're going to block out those really dark areas, and you're just going to kind of swipe them in, and a little goes a long, long way. And so what we're doing is the left side is going to be the black and white and gray side, and then the right side is going to be full of color. So now I'm going to take my wet paintbrush, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to dust it over the top of this sidewalk chalk, and just a little bit of water on it so it just moves around and it starts to dissolve on the piece of paper. And you're just going to continue brushing the sidewalk chalk into the drawing. And I have a little extra on my brush, so I'm just kind of putting it into some of those white areas on the face. I'm going to set aside your brush, and now we're going to put in some color. So I have this really nice kind of seafoam green, and I'm going to go ahead and stroke that in for the furry part that is the dark value, and I'm going to be layering a lot of different colors. So feel free to pick some of your favorite colors for this part. Now I'm going to go in with some nice kind of pinkish purple color. Make sure you're looking at your reference photo of the husky so you can see all those different shapes that make up the face. Now I'm grabbing some orange, and this is going to be for the little bit of the body that you see, and a little bit on the inside of the ear, and some nice hot pink I'm going to add in. And I'm even putting some of that hot pink on top of the purple. Now I'm grabbing a little bit more of a cooler purple, and look at my strokes. Notice how I'm going kind of up and down on the forehead, and then on the body. Notice the direction of my stroke. And I'm going to grab some nice light blue, just a little bit around the nose and on the ear, and a little bit on the forehead and on the body. Just kind of sprinkling some blue about, and I'm also going to color in the iris of the eye. I just picked up a little bit of a darker purple just to mark in. And now I'm going to pick up my clean brush that is wet, and I'm going to carefully brush some of this chalk around. Now you want to make sure though is that you're not brushing over the whole thing, because you're going to turn out with mud really fast. So make sure you stick to one color at a time. So I'm doing the blue into the purple, and those two colors work okay together because they're very close to each other on the color wheel, but you don't want to go into some blue and purple into the orange because you're going to get brown really fast, and we don't want that. So now I'm going to wash my brush off, and now I'm going to start to go into the orange. You can see how often I'm dipping my brush into the water to clean it. I just want to make sure my colors stay nice and bright and pure. I'm just doing a little bit of tapping with my brush. I have some purple that's left on the brush, so when you tap a little, it's going to sprinkle, and you're going to have almost like these little raindrops of color on your watercolor side. Another little tap here and there, so that way it just kind of loosens up all the color. We're going to stop there for the first video of this main project, you guys. Really nice work. Take a break, and in the next video, we're going to add some more materials, and we're going to be layering a lot more colors too. Nice job, you guys.